WFM 91.7.
Good morning. Today is a good day. 10 minutes past 9 from Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. Today is Thursday, day 23 in the month of November 2023. How are you doing today? I really do hope that your day started off on a great note. My name is Blessing Aweta. Thank you very much for choosing this dial. How are you doing this morning? I really do hope that your day has been lovely. Thank you very much for joining us today on Panorama. Panorama is the radio program where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. For you to be a part of the conversation, you can call us on 07000 917 917. Send us a text and WhatsApp message on 0703 175 6537. Log on to our website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app, the BFM 917. Sending your thoughts to our social media platforms, WFM 917. That is how you can be a part of the conversation for today. Once again, my name is Blessing Agbeta, and yes, we are being joined by our guest for today, Buki Femi Ajala. Good morning, Buki.
Yes, good morning, Blessing. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good morning to all our Panorama family. Good morning, family members. Trust you're doing great.
So thank you very much for joining me on the conversation today. 10 is happening. 10 is happening. That's how they say it. All right, so I would like us to kick off the conversation today with this particular one that surfaced about yesterday. I think this for the first time this story surfaced about let's say last week, and then people came to the rescue of this particular woman that we're about to talk about. So let's delve into it without further ado. So apparently this young lady came out. That was the first time I saw the video. So this particular young lady came out to talk about how she made a video of a particular woman in Osun State. You know, the woman has goiter, and then she made a video asking people to help this woman. And you know, Nigerians were very no matter how much we have coconut heads, we are compassionate. There's a way we go all out. Even if it is our widow's mite of 1,500, we will still drop something. So this lady made a video of this particular woman who has goiter, and the video went viral, and then people contributed money, a lot of people donated and all of that. And apart from that, a particular organization decided to sponsor the operation, you know, taking out the goiter free of charge without any payment. However, a new development surfaced yesterday when this lady came on social media to say they tried, after they've raised money, after they've done everything, now this woman is saying she's not interested in the surgery. They should just give her the money, she will go back to the village. Now, if you see the image or the video of the woman, you know that the goiter is not something small, you know, and it must have been very discomforting. So one would be wondering, why would this Ede woman, Folakemi, from Ede local government area in Osun State, suffering from goiter for a while, refuse to get help when the help is, you know, literally at her doorstep? Now, she was persuaded, she was appealed to, but she refused and opted for the money that was raised on her behalf. The NGO tried to change her mind, but she insisted on walking away with the 300,000 naira that was contributed for her. And you know, she was giving the money after much appeal and all of that. She was giving the money, and then she collected the money and returned to her village. But a lot of people have been reacting differently to this particular story. You know, people have so many things to say, several reactions here and there, and all of that. So, to some people, they feel like maybe she has turned this sickness or this predicament to, let's say, a business venture where like I said at the beginning of the show, Nigerians are compassionate. We have a way of, even when we are angry at our leaders and all of that, we still have a way of sharing our widow's mite with someone else who is in need in our society and in our environment. So some people are raising the concerns that could it be that she had turned it into a business venture? Because how can you say you don't want treatment? How can you say they should just give you the money, you go back to your village and all of that? So some people are saying, could it be that she had turned it, once it is operated, she won't be able to get the usual donation from people, she won't be able to get, people won't be able to give her anymore, and it might be difficult for her to survive. So that's one. Some people are of the opinion that maybe she's scared of the surgery, maybe she doesn't know if she would survive it and all of that. Some other people are saying maybe she has family issues, maybe she has family dependence on her, that she felt, she would rather collect the money to sort the bills, to help her children, so many angles popping up left, right and center concerning this particular conversation. So Buki, I would like you to take a look at all of these sides and come up with what you think is wrong, because I'm just thinking, what could it have been? Remember, most times when people come on social media to say, okay, help us, give us money and all of that, and then people are moved and they are able to contribute to say, okay, let's help this person. Sometimes they don't do it once, they go about doing it again, they go to another location and all of that. If you will recall, there was a particular video that came on social media, I think 2 weeks ago, after a particular skit maker decided to talk about this particular young guy who was dressed as a woman selling pure water, saying he does makeup and all of that to garner sympathy, compassion and all of that. And people donated. People were even willing to, send him for masterclass and upgrade and all of that. It was afterwards that it was deduced that this person is actually a guy who has decided to actually capitalize on Nigerians' empathy to do whatever he did. The problem was not the gender, but the problem was the motive, the aim, or the manner at which he was going about getting money from people. So, what do you have to say concerning this, Buki?
Okay, thank you. I mean, when I read the story, I was a bit perturbed, and it was more like, what exactly is going on? What could have been, things running through the mind of the person? But let's even dissect it. We all know what goiter is. It's enlargement of the thyroid gland, and that's because there is iodine deficiency. And looking at that woman, I'm not a medical personnel, but I think it's a multinodular, because it has quite a lot. It's not just one, but it's I think you could actually count maybe 3 or 4. And this must be giving her a lot of discomfort, in terms of breathing and swallowing of things. And I think it can even affect the heart at some point, all that. So obviously, even for her carrying it, it's a load, but she has, she's gotten used to it. So the people who are saying, probably she has found a way of living, so that living, with sympathy, when you go there, people will give you the money. So she's used to that kind of life. I would not blame them, because it could be that. But looking at the story, let me start with the young lady who went about it. I mean, what she did was great, was great. And she was able to raise 300K. So we must say thank you to everyone who contributed to that money. However, I think she should have gone further, because people contributed the money on social media. She should have actually come back to social media to say, look at what this woman is saying, and probably seek opinion still on social media, because it was on social media you came. But you unilaterally taking that decision to give her that money, I frown at it. More so that the operation was to be done free of charge. Initially, I was thinking that the 300 was to assist, but later on, I found out that the foundation was ready to do it free of charge. Then she should have told the woman, Madam, I collected this money towards your surgery. These people want to do it free of charge for you. You will do it free of charge. And after the surgery, then I will release the 300 to you. That will have been a better way of doing it. But she decided, probably under pressure or whatever it is, to give the woman the 300, which I think, for me personally, I think is wrong. Because a lot of people, didn't like that. And how will she now come back another time to say, oh, donate for me? So I think she should have also come back, to the same people that donated on social media to let them know. And I think the reason why she did all that was that just in case somebody sees the woman somewhere again and say, but we raised money for you. And then they will not come back on social media to say, this lady just scammed them. So I think that was why she came on social media to release the money to her and all that. But really, I think the intent is wrong, personally, because the whole idea was to get this woman out of that discomforting state. And now we have people who are going to do it free of charge. So that is for her. Now, for the woman, we also need to understand that I'm assuming, that her family members, were not there to support her. Rather, they were there to use her as a bait. They must have probably told her quite a lot of things. And, this is something that she must have been carrying for, I don't know how many years, and she's used to it. She's used to it. So now you say you want to remove, some of the family members or people around her will say, if you remove it, this thing die, and this thing might come back. There's a possibility. I read somewhere that there's a possibility, but then they will have instilled fear in her. When you don't know so many things and you don't have good support, the framework around you, you will believe anything. And then they might even believe that this thing is spiritual. Don't go to the hospital. I witnessed the case. The person had a growth, and he just came up with, you cannot go to the hospital, is this, is that, is that. But this guy was in pain, really serious pain. I had to force that guy to the hospital to do it, So at times, the way we think, our mindset, say, the spiritual thing, don't remove it, don't, all that. So that could be another possibility. Another possibility will be the fact that, okay, no, just don't remove this thing because this is my means of livelihood. I survive with this. At least maybe on a day, people will give me a total of 500 naira, which I used to eat and all that. You can even see that she's real skinny. She's not looking healthy. So for me, I think there were the family was not there. Maybe they don't also know better, and that's the truth. So they don't know better. So somebody should have stood up to say, look, you know what? You must do these things. And even for the other lady too, we are looking at it from all perspectives. At times you might want to help, and somewhere along the line, the help turns sour. Maybe they have done the surgery and all that, and after some days, something happened. People will come back to her, and say, why did you help? And all that. So, we listen to all these things. But bottom line for me, we will have to keep doing good for people. There is nothing bad in raising money to help people. And maybe another dimension now is that when you meet such mindsets, maybe somebody has to sit them down and take them through, and also meet with the family, which has to do with patience, to talk to the family and let the family know actually what the lady is going through, because it's a whole lot. Who wants to take you, even to sell things? Who wants to buy things from you? Well, she's covered. She used the veil, so that can help her. In some stand, but the bottom line, even for our own health, she's not healthy. She's not healthy, and then carrying that thing, you understand, up and down the whole place.
Hello, Buki.
You can't be happy. So somebody has to sit down with her and change her perspective and change their orientation. So that's just the dissection that I want to say, and then we can discuss it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Buki, for your thoughts on the show this morning. But I'm also going to say there's a need for us to look at this from this side. You said something about the young lady who, decided to release the funds to the woman after she insisted that she doesn't want the money. Now, she came out on social media to talk about it, to say, okay, after we've raised this money, this woman has said she's not interested in the surgery, and we have appealed to her and all of that, but she insisted that she's not interested in the surgery. Buki, you will agree with me that even if something is wrong and you go to the hospital and they tell you to give your consent and you say you don't want the surgery, there is nothing anybody can do about it, because if anything goes wrong, God forbid, you will be held accountable. And I don't know, but I think that was what the lady did. If we are saying that we can only help, we can only say, okay, let's help this person. But if this person is saying, I don't want help, do you think she can be forced against her wish? And if she was forced, because it looks like I don't know, I don't want to judge her, but maybe she was all after, she was all about the money in the first place. Because how can you sit and watch people contribute? Because I'm sure that little would have been telling her that people have been contributing, blah, 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 blah. And then you watch people contribute, and the surgery was supposed to be done for free, after which you were supposed to get maybe the 300k for your treatment and all of that, but you insisted on not wanting the surgery. Do you think she can be forced against her wish? Because even in the regular hospital, once they ask you to append your signature, if you say you can't, there is nothing anybody can do about it, because if something goes wrong, they will be held accountable. What if that was what informed the decision?
Listen. Yes, you cannot force somebody against their will. She doesn't want it, and that's it. So you ought not to have given her the 300k.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. You leave the options, because you see, the intent of you coming on social media was for help for the woman to do surgery, not to give her money. They're two different things. It was because, I looked through the video, where they went to this office, they went to this. So the lady had done well for her, and she also was moving with her. So I want to believe that at some point she also was interested in getting that thing removed. Having surgery. I'm just commutating, because she was working with her. She was going from one office to another office.
Yes.
If she wanted money, she would have just said, no, you know what? Let us just go and look for money for me. It's money that I need, not surgery. But now everybody who is going to do it free of charge. And then the story now changes, except maybe we are not commutating well. And then you now say, give me the money. I'm not interested in the surgery. Meanwhile, the money you collected on social media was for what? For surgery. So assist her. Even after surgery, she will still need some medication, good eating and all that. So she will still need the money. That was why I would have If all these informations that we have is right, I would have put it on the table for her. Madam, this money was given to you to do the surgery. Thankfully, we have somebody who wants to do it free of charge. So you will do it free of charge and I will give you the money. But if you say you don't want to do the surgery, then sorry, madam, I cannot release the money for you, except when majority of the people who contributed the money say you should give her the money. Then she can come back on social media and say, well, this. People saw her on social media now. The same people who donated will probably say, okay, give. By the time you see more people say give, then you have the right to release the money. But you taking a unilateral decision, probably she succumbed to pressures, and she herself must have been tired. She has gone here, she has gone there with this woman, and God knows what she will have gone through. Because I read where she said, oh yeah, call your family members, and call this, call that. Upon what? She won't make money out of it. It is not her business, So maybe she too got just tired at some point to say, you know what, I wanted to help this woman, but it looks as if what she's interested in is the money. Let's see what they will do with the money. Then, before you know what is happening, the family members that did not support her will come. There are quite a lot of things that she can actually do with the 300, no doubt about that. You understand? But we are looking at the state of her health. But she is not looking at the state of her health. She's more interested in the 300, that, this 300 can solve a lot of them. It might solve the immediate one, but for the long haul, it will not, because you have to keep on with this goiter. And then, of course, like somebody had, a lot of people, had said that maybe it was a livelihood, avenue for her. Carrying the goiter up and down and then begging for money.
Thank you very, very much for your thoughts on the show this morning. This is 29 minutes, right? Big 410 from Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. If you are just joining us, you're listening to Panorama. Panorama is the radio program where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. If you are just joining us, please do well to call us on 07000 917 917. Send us a text and a WhatsApp message on 0703 175 6537. Log into our website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app WFM 917. Send in your thoughts to our social media platforms WFM 917. That is how you can be a part of the conversation. My name is Blessing Agbeta, and my guest for today is Buki Femi Ajala. All right, let's move away from that one to this other one that you will find. All right, so this one also came out yesterday. I think this conversation has been on since today is the Thursday, so it's about Monday over the weekend. A lot of people have been registering their displeasure, having so many things to say about this one. And it is about the procurement or the things that have been procured by different states. I know at some point it was OT that was dragged. At some points, the governor of Ekiti State, at some point Lagos State government was dragged on social media, for whatever it is they had bought for the administration. So yes, if you have been following the story, you recall that the Lagos State Procurement Agency actually showed some outrageous amount, while stating that this were the things that were bought for the ministry, for the governments within the period and all of that. And so many things were seen as being outrageous. At some point, it was said that the liquid fragrance was bought for about 7.5 million and, 3 billion naira for liquid fragrance. So then you're wondering, what is really happening? What is really, really happening? And, there was also a part that talked about the approval of over 440 million naira for the purchase of a new SUV and all of that, just for use in the pool of the Office of Chief of Staff. And there was another one that had to do with the Deputy Governor's Office, and it was just a lot. And people have been registering their displeasure. A lot of people have been dragging Lagos State state government, saying so many things that, yes, we see that you're working, but you cannot be utilizing public funds this way. I mean, you were not elected into the office to actually use the public funds this way. People are going through a lot. That means that if you can utilize all of this, imagine 3 billion naira on liquid fragrances. One would want to ask, Kilo Shele, like, what is happening? Like, you really want to probe further, like, what is really happening? Where did we get it wrong? Because at some point, when we elect leaders, we elect people because we feel like they are selfless. And somebody once said something, and I'm going to say it again. I mean, the person said that where we got it wrong is that a lot of our leaders don't, get to that position because they want to serve. They just want to get to the position to enjoy the dividends of being a leader, the publicity it comes with, the power it comes with, the recognition it comes with. They are not there because they want to serve. Because if somebody is there because you want to serve, you would be empathetic, you put yourself in other people's shoes, and by the time you put yourself in other people's shoes, you want to be involved in this. But the according to what was released, I think I saw this one yesterday, the governor, in a statement by spokesman Boyega Koshile, now noted that the controversy was unnecessary. And then, he said, if the government was not trying to be transparent, it would not be released in the first place, that there was error. So that was where he made mention of the fact that there was a part that, for example, 7.5 million naira was approved to buy the liquid fragrance in his office, but 3 billion naira was written, and then 3 billion naira to purchase rechargeable fans for the office of the deputy governor, Obafemi Hamzat. So he was saying that there are discrepancies, typographical errors, and all of that, and that the other people are trying to capitalize on this to drag the government, the opposition, and all of that. So, Buki, I'm going to ask you. He said there was a particular one where it was meant to be 2 million naira, but it was written as 2 billion naira. So, in his defense, what he's saying is that if they don't want to be criticized, if they don't want to be transparent, they won't release this document in the first place, because I mean, the Lagos State Public Procurement Agency works with the Lagos State government. So saying that they did it out of their will and all of that. But one would want to ask this question, Bricky. If you're saying is there could be errors, there could be mistake, what happens? Are there no people who are saddled with responsibility of going through these documents in details? Like, don't they have ranks? So if a junior officer is writing something, is there not supposed to be a senior officer who is supposed to proofread whatever it is you're writing? Even at the point of releasing this document to the public, are there not supposed to be people who would check whatever it is they are writing to be sure that they are putting in the accurate information and they are giving out the accurate information that would not, bring backlash on the government? Don't you think this is not taking responsibility for their action by saying, it is the opposition is trying to feel the emotions of the people against them? Vicky, what are your thoughts?
Okay, bless them. How do we decipher this now? Number one, we need to understand that the majority, a higher percentage of the people who get elected into office, I mean, let's face the brutal fact. They are not there to serve. They don't understand what service to humanity is. They just continue the trail of people going into, those positions and just living on the lagas that is there, the perks of the office, mismanagement, and all that. We have a crop of people, and I celebrate them today. WFM also celebrates them today, that they move into office and they are there to serve. But what is their percentage? Their percentage is just a small percentage. But then, when you now say you want to be transparent and you want to be accountable, it is not just about you publishing things, but accountability is also about taxpayers' money. How am I spending it? If this was my money, will I spend it this way? It starts from there. So even if the governor says, "Oh, I didn't know it was this amount," or whatever it is for him, which actually challenged him to say, "You know what? Go back and see what the issues are, even if you were not involved in this. That okay, how come? We didn't even get to know, as at the time we mentioned that we were not even sure. Maybe it was maybe somebody will come and say, "Oh, it's actually 2 million, not 2 billion." It's an issue of, okay, we all know these things, like the rechargeable fan issue. What was the office of the deputy whatever? What was it doing with that rechargeable fan? Or was it a gift? What exactly was it for? And I mentioned his rechargeable fan for his office, as we read. Excuse me, as he or she starts with the solar panel experts, to bring something, except maybe those were gifts, because we talked about the chicken too. Who did they give those chickens to? Because it was close to after the election. Was it a thank you gift for the APC people that voted him in? We do not know. But the question is this, which you mentioned. You want to be accountable. Thank you, Mr. Governor. And you put it there. Even if it was a mistake, are you saying that there is nobody that checks the portal? Are you saying, let us even start with that, to say that, no, it's 2 million. Why did we write 2 billion? For how many days? I do not know, until Mr. Duarte brought it up. God knows that maybe that report had been there for a while, and until he brought it up. So does that mean that even for you to put things on the portal, what is the process? How can M become B, in such an office? In such an office, we're not even talking about maybe a school that don't know the implication of M and B, but we're talking about a government institution. People went to school, they have degree, they understand mathematics, they understand M for million, B for billion, and they put it there. And you also mentioned it, that what is the process of putting things on the portal? Because this has to do with public. So you cannot just put it in the hands of just one non-entity who does not understand. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, some heads must even roll. That means that people are free to do anything that they like. But personally, I think this want is just a cover-up. Oh, we didn't know. It's actually 2 million. How can 2 million become 2 billion? For him to put us at rest, you understand? There are documents that they can show us to be sure that it's 2 million. Which accounts? You understand? Even if they don't want to show us the account, they can screenshot. Though I know all these things, they can actually forge it. You understand? But bottom line, listening to everything, you will know that they are not. You cannot say that they are accountable. They are responsible with the way they have wasted money. Chicken, fan, motor. In fact, this one that blew my mind was some millions of money to clear vegetables. That was what we read. And I'm wondering that to clear vegetables for what? You understand? So by the time you run through and look at what other governors are doing, so close to 1 billion on welfare. Now they are saying no, they didn't spend 700 and something million on welfare and entertainment. They spent 200 and something million on. It is still the same thing. Over the time, they have come to think that the followers don't understand what is happening. But now gradually we are coming to followers that are enlightened. In those days, even if you say nobody even goes there to read. And that is a challenge for every one of us, that these things are in public domain, and we should actually take time, to actually look at it. And thankfully, these are the positive sides of social media, that you can actually write it. So let Mr. SANWO tell us how he used the money. But I can tell you that this is not the first time that they are wasting money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that nobody has been looking.
Paying attention.
Buy a car for what? Rechargeable fan. Where did they install the rechargeable fans to?
Mm-hmm.
And if truly they were gifts, from the office to say, thank you for voting for us, who are the people they gave the rechargeable fans to? The chicken, who did they give it to? Maybe you collected one, I don't know. You understand? And then, because you see, people are pained because you are the one saying that we need to tighten, our trouser. Things are not too rosy in terms of finances of the people. The cash is scarce now, you understand? And even money to feed the family. We're talking about inflation, we're talking about poverty, the high rising of the cost of living is high. It's rising every day. And then you are supposed to manage the resources, you are just spending it in a manner that we feel is not responsible enough, that you are not sensitive to what is happening, in the country. Is it Akeredolu? They were talking about 7 point something billion. He's saying it was palliative, it was this, it was that. Okay, how did you fund your medical expenses? Yes, as a governor, you have the right, everything that has to do with your welfare. The government will have to take care of it. You understand? But hey, if it was that, tell us. There's nothing we can do about that. But not that, oh no, it was used for palliative. The palliative, that how many people got it the rights? At the end of the day, we all know what was happening. It was more like, come and get a meal, not a palliative. You understand? So a lot is actually happening. But with all this that we have actually said, there are, we can talk about that at least we know that even for some populates, you understand, they actually got some things. But we know what the things are. A bag of rice now is about 60K. By the time they would take it for approval, the bag will become 200K. So the difference of 140 has been shared among ex people, whoever they are, because we know how those things are. From one table to another table, envelopes are rolling and all that. We say, add my own to it, add my own to it, add my own to it. So at the end of the day, we are wasting resources. So we can only appeal, for them that the citizens are enlightened now. The citizens are knowledgeable now. So please do not waste our resources. Taxpayer money. Now we are talking about increasing the tax net. You want people to pay their taxes and all that. People will pay their taxes when they know that they are benefiting from it. But when they are not, just a crop of people that are benefiting from it, and they are not. Their roads are bad. They don't have tap water, right? They go to the public institutions. There for the hospital. There are no drugs. You understand? Quite a lot of things is wrong. The public schools, yes, you give them meal, but look at the infrastructure. It's not. At the end of the day, people say that, why am I even paying this tax for goodness sake? So please, we just call them, that we need them not to waste our resources. We need them to handle the taxpayers' money in a manner that if this is my money, will I spend this? By the time we begin to check ourselves, look at Malawi. I mean, it was on social media. He said before the end of this year or this fiscal year, no more trips, no more trainings, foreign trainings, no more spending. And he started from himself. Why? He must have looked at the books that if we spend money like this before the end of the fiscal year, hey, we don't have money. And he started from himself. And he gave the matching order. It's everyone on social media. Those are the kind of things we want to listen to. We want to know. You understand? What did you give the chicken to? What did you give the rechargeable to? The vegetables that you went to go and clear with money. What kind of vegetables are these? Was it grown and then you wanted to use the land for something else? Why couldn't you have asked if it was vegetables that people eat? You understand? You should have just called the women. Okay, come and clear and use that. I mean, that would be your own gain. Except maybe it's grass or something like that. But even if it is grass, for goodness sake, that amount of money is much now.
All right.
We know how to declare gas now. Grass. We know now. You understand? But you see, it's just the body nature, and we're saying that can you begin to change such things? Those are the things we want. When you say you're a transformed leader, you change perceptions and you change values. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Vicky, for your thoughts on the show this morning. Let's check this message we have here. This one says, "Good morning, Panorama family. Our political leaders don't seem to understand that leadership is responsibility and service. My question over the rechargeable fan is if there is no standby generator in governor's office. Transparency is part of what they are called to do, so they should not make it seem they are doing us a favor." Margaret from College Road, Ogba. All right. Thank you very much, Margaret, for your thoughts on the show this morning. As we wrap up on the show, Vicky, what are your final words?
Okay, so this is my final words to everyone. Yes, we are pointing one finger to the government. And like I always say, when you point one, I mean, anybody listening to me, point one to somebody, you see that 3 fingers are actually pointing to you, not 4. 3 fingers are actually pointing to you. So that means that that we have extracted the government, that means you also are doing ×3 of it. So it's an issue of you check yourself. That small office you are, that small sphere of influence you are, how are you managing the resources that have been given to you in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of human beings? How are you managing it? How are you managing it? So it calls for a sober reflection. Yes, we've talked to the governor, but then can we also talk to ourselves wherever we are, in terms of the way we manage things. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Vicky. Do well to enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Let's have a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you too. There you have it from our guest for today, Vicky Femi Ajala. I just really hope that as we try as much as possible to be involved in political processes and all of that, let us always go with the mindset that we're there to serve. We want to serve people, not because we want to be there to get the recognition, flex our muscles and all of that. We should always bear it at the back of our minds that the position is for us to make the world a safer and better place for others. My name is Blessing Agbe. At 10 we have Radio Doctor, where we get to talk about our health basically, and of course Panorama will be back tomorrow at 9:05. So do well to join us for another exciting conversation on radio. Once again, my name is Blessing Agbe, and thank you very, very much for joining us this morning.
To sponsor this program, call the number
WFM 91.7.